What was your reaction when the Oilers did pick you? Because I would imagine there's some amount of a conversation beforehand when you were sitting there waiting, like fingers crossed as the picks go on. When am I going? When am I going? When you see the Oilers trade up, are you like, oh shit, that might be me?
Yeah, I had a pretty good idea. I watched the draft from home, and I was sitting with my family on the couch, and I got a text from my agent, and he sort of said, I think Stan Bowman is really interested in you, and I think it's going to happen, and he's going to trade up here. And then I was nervous, and then I saw the trade happen, and I saw it went to Edmonton, and I sort of knew, and I got real excited.
I have a couple other things about the draft process I want to ask you, but when the phone rings, was it Stan who kind of calls you and gives you the welcome to the Oilers message?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So what do you have to say? Like, what's that kind of call like?
It's really exciting. I had all the emotions still, running through my head, and I was still a little teary-eyed. So I'm sure it was a fun call for him to make, sort of, and hear my emotions. But he was basically just, saying welcome to the Oilers, and we're thrilled to have you. And I almost blacked out. I don't even really remember the phone call, to be honest. But yeah, it was along those lines.
I look a little bigger because I'm wearing a hoodie, but I've never been to a gym in my life, so I'm excited to ask you this: how much does the combine suck? Like, is that just the worst fucking day ever, or is it like kind of fun? Is there one thing that you hated?
It does kind of suck, but I'm a super competitive person, so I mean it was pretty fun to, they got the scoreboard with all the names up, and you can kind of see where you're ranking up, like in live time. But they wait to do the testing till the last day of the combine, and the combine's 6 days long, so you're sort of waiting there and nervous and anxious, and so yeah, I mean that was probably the hardest part for me. I think the bike tests suck. The VO2 max test is never easy, but I think I performed pretty well, and glad it's over.
What were you good at? Like, which ones were you up on the leaderboard for?
VO2 max was good. My Wingate scores were good. And my power scores were good. So that were metrics on the Wingate, and then bench press was good as well.
So I mentioned it's like, again, kind of like a whirlwind few weeks for all the guys who go through the process like you, and you go combine, you have the draft, and you said you were at home for it, but then it's dev camp for the Oilers. What was development camp like?
It was great. I mean, it was truly awesome. It was my first time being in, NHL facilities like that, and having a full-time staff and, everyone around you. I think we had 27 players at the camp, and there were, I'd say, just as much staff around you. There's so much to learn. And I think overall it wasn't really a lot of pressure. Like, going into it, I was pretty nervous that I had to perform and, be my best self. But once I got there, it was just, be who you are, and you're here for a reason, and just, get to know everyone and check it out. And I think that was pretty cool.
You mentioned the facilities, and like, it is unique, I think, for you, because the Rogers Place is top of the top of the top. Like, that's just not a normal NHL rink. Was there any like little thing that as you went through dev camp, like something small where you're like, damn, okay, this makes me feel like I'm in the NHL?
I'd say probably the food. They call it the Never Hungry League for a reason, and they had two, great chefs that are full-time with the team, and they were making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they were probably some of the best meals I had. You're never going hungry.
Yeah, we had a guy from Edmonton who's pitching in the majors now. We had him on the show last summer, and he said the same thing. Like, he got called up, and a couple weeks in, he's like, okay, I've been eating steak every night for like the last 20 days. Like, at some point here, I need to mix it up a little bit, but I like that, the Never Hungry League. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.